Welcome back to another episode of Takeover. I'm your host, Maddie Beischel. I hope y'all are staying warm and cozy for this week's exciting episode where Sydney and Emily will talk all about NBA and college hoops. Richie Obaid will give you the NBA All-Star Weekend recap. Abby will give you an inside scoop into women's basketball. And to finish off, Chad Cushing will give you a rundown of Daytona 500. All this and more on Rookie Takeover.
Your favorite co-host duo is back, and we have a lot of sports news to talk about today. But first, Sydney, let's start off with the NBA since we are back to playing after that All-Star break.
The NBA is heating up with about a month and a half until playoffs start. The Chicago Bulls are sitting atop of the East with the Miami Heat just behind them. For the West, the Suns have a commanding lead amongst the rest of the conference with a 6-game lead.
The Warriors sit in second place in the West but have a challenging schedule ahead of them with 6 of their next 7 games being against teams who sit in the upper half of the standings for the West. We will probably see how the playoffs are going to shape up here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Emily, the season is set to end on April 10th with a 6-day game break before the playoffs begin. But in other NBA news, the league showed their support for its 2 Ukrainian players last night with the Sacramento Kings and the Denver Nuggets, all linking arms during a moment of silence to honor the playoffs and their home country, which is being invaded by Russia.
The 2 released a joint statement earlier yesterday condemning the Russian invasion and said, quote, "We categorically condemn the war. Ukraine is a peaceful, sovereign state inhabited by people who want to decide their own destiny. We pray for our families, friends, relatives, and all the people who are in the territory of Ukraine. We hope for an end to this terrible war as soon as possible."
This was both the Kings and the Nuggets' first game back after the All-Star break. Now let's kick it to Richie to give us an All-Star Weekend recap.
What's up? I'm Richie Obaid, and this is the NBA All-Star Weekend recap. The main festivities of All-Star Weekend started in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday with the Taco Bell Skills Challenge. This year, the field was made up of 3 teams with 3 players each: Team Cavs, Team Rooks, and Team Antetokounmpos. All 3 teams participated in a 3-round competition that tested their shooting, passing, and dribbling ability. After the first 3 rounds, the final round featured Team Cavs versus Team Antetokounmpos. The hometown representing Team Cavs would secure the win, with Evan Mobley hitting the half-court shot on only his team's second attempt, faster than Team Antetokounmpo could. The second event of the night was the Mountain Dew 3-point contest. This fan-favorite contest consisted of 8 NBA sharpshooters, all each getting 70 seconds to make as many balls as they can out of 27. After a tight first round, Atlanta Hawks guard Trae Young, Los Angeles Clippers guard Luke Kennard, and Minnesota Timberwolves center Karl-Anthony Towns would be the 3 competing in the final round. Towns ended up winning the Mountain Dew 3-point contest in record fashion, becoming one of the tallest players to do so at 6'11". Towns scored 29 points in the final, which was plenty enough to win. He became the tallest winner since 7-foot Dirk Nowitzki in 2006, and the first center to ever win the event. He was also wearing the necklace of his mother, who passed away from COVID in April of 2020. Cat later thanked the NBA for allowing him to wear his mom's chain during the 3-point contest, as usually no jewelry is allowed in this event. The last event on Saturday night was the AT&T Slam Dunk Contest. This field consisted of 4 NBA high flyers who were ready to show off their balance. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case, as this was arguably one of the worst slam dunk contests of all time. The Dunkers went 7 of 25 in the first round. Yes, you heard that right. They only made 7 dunks out of 25 attempts. It was even so bad that this year's second overall pick, Jalen Green, making only 1 of his first 9 attempts. The final round was between New York's guard Obi Toppin and Golden State Warriors forward Juan Toscano Anderson. Obi Toppin would eventually win the underwhelming event and became the 3rd player from the Knicks to ever win a slam dunk contest. The last and most entertaining event of All-Star Weekend came on Sunday night with the playing of the 71st NBA All-Star Game between Team Durant and Team LeBron. This game was highlighted with the usual high-flying dunks, deep 3-pointers, and absolute no defense. Team LeBron would end up winning the All-Star Game 163-160, with no other than Ohio native LeBron James hitting the game winner in front of his hometown crowd. However, it wouldn't be LeBron winning MVP, it would be the other Ohio native, the greatest shooter of all time, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry erupted for 50 points, the second highest total in All-Star Game history, behind Anthony Davis's 52. Curry's 50-point performance easily earned him MVP honors and got Team LeBron the win. This win now pushes Team LeBron to 5-0 since the switch of the NBA All-Star Game team format. Cleveland was a great host of the 2022 NBA All-Star Weekend, and next year, Utah hopes to do the same. That's all from me, guys. Now back to your co-host.
With March Madness quickly approaching for men's and women's college hoops, things are heating up. On the men's side, Kansas keeps moving up in the AP rankings. Gonzaga is on their 17th straight win. Arizona knocked down Auburn to put them at their number 2, and there are 3 Big 12 teams in the top 10.
Kansas has an exciting last few games coming up, traveling to Waco tomorrow night to face Baylor at home. Kansas is coming off of a huge 102-83 win over Kansas State and is sure to be going into this game with intensity. Although Kansas swept Baylor in Lawrence last time, I think this is going to be a very competitive game for each team tomorrow night, and the game will start at 7 p.m.
Kansas has a busy week ahead starting tomorrow with Baylor and will play 4 games in just 8 days. They head to Fort Worth on Tuesday to play TCU for the first time this season and then head home to play them again on Thursday in the Fog.
Their final game of the regular season will be against Texas on March 5th at 3 p.m. for senior night. Kansas lost to UT when they played in Austin, and nobody wants to lose on senior night, so that game will definitely be a stressful but fun one to attend.
It will be an important matchup for Kansas, who has a 2-game lead over the rest of the Big 12, so if they can take down Baylor again tomorrow night, that will pretty much seal the deal for them in the top spot in the conference. As for the women's side of Kansas basketball, the Jayhawks are currently coming off a tough loss to Iowa State on Wednesday, but are hoping to bounce back tomorrow against Baylor, also in Waco, at 2 p.m.
If the Jayhawks can take down the number 5 Baylor Bears, they'll be sitting just above the middle of the Big 12, but have a very challenging rest of their season ahead of them, with their final games being against number 11 Texas and number 20 Oklahoma.
Yeah, definitely going to need to see some of the most aggressive basketball from them this next week, but they can pull it off. We should see a number next to Kansas' name, hopefully going into the Big 12 tournament, and hopefully a spot in the NCAA Madness.
The Big 12 tournament will kick off on March 10th at 5:30 p.m. in Kansas City, but that's enough basketball talk from the two of us. Let's send it to Abby Lord, who is in studio to give us some more updates on women's hoops after the commercial.
Have a nice day. You too. Have a great day. Thanks. You too.
Make someone's day. Pay it forward.
Thanks, Emily and Sydney. No matter how the 2021-2022 season ends, Kansas women's basketball has made history. KU has tied its program record for the most consecutive Big 12 wins with 10. The team has secured its first winning record in Big 12 play in 22 seasons. Still, the AP Top 25 did not recognize this year's squad and only received 39 votes. Not only was head coach Brandon Schneider named ESPN's Coach of the Week, but also found out his father, longtime coach Bob Schneider, was announced as an inductee into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame this summer.
Obviously I'm just really proud, for him. And, he's an incredible teacher of the game and really stresses the importance of fundamentals.
The squad was on a 7-game winning streak, leading into a highly anticipated matchup against number 9 Iowa State. Being tied for the first in conference was on the line. Unfortunately, the team was blown out 85-59 as the Cyclones had a fiery offense that Kansas defense could not stop. Kansas is seeking their first NCAA tournament berth under Schneider, and right now they are projected as an 8th seed by Charlie Cream as one of the 6 teams from the Big 12. Kansas is tied in 3rd with the conference along with Texas and Oklahoma. The team looks to seek revenge on Saturday as they head to Waco to face number 5 Baylor. Now back to hosts Sydney and Emily about the NASCAR.
Thanks, Abby. MLS opening weekend kicks off tomorrow at 12 with the Philadelphia Union and Minnesota United FC. We'll have a full evening of soccer with 9 games taking place tomorrow.
And currently it's do or die for the upcoming MLB regular season, and fans all around the world are on the edge of their seats. If the MLB Players Association doesn't come to a collective bargaining agreement by Monday, the games will not be made up and the players will be without pay for their full season salaries.
Preseason rankings came out for the MLS on Tuesday, and surprisingly, Sporting KC was put at the 10th spot. Sporting KC made it to the conference semifinals last year, but had a heartbreaking loss to Real Salt Lake, losing 2-1 with a goal scored in the 91st minute by Salt Lake's Bobby Wood. The two
sides of the MLB are meeting every day this week to hopefully come to terms with an agreement, but after 86 days and counting, this is the second longest halt in baseball history since the 1994 players' strike that lasted 232 days. The MLB announced last week that spring training will be pushed back a week to March 5th, but are aiming to keep opening day locked in.
Some other teams to watch out for this season in the MLS is NYCFC, who were the 2021's MLS Cup champions. The Seattle Sounders are looking healthy again, with Jordan Morris set to return to the pitch this season. His last full season played was in 2020, where he scored 11 goals in 27 games and was named the Sounders team MVP.
This MLB lockout has not been a complete waste of time, for agreement has been made, but the big agreement of will we have a year without baseball has yet to be announced.
That's all from Sydney and I. After this short break, we'll be back with Chad, who sat down with Jordan Lawley.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part's the most complicated one?
It is.
If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go.
Just clapping now.
No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Mine was just two people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just I don't know the head.
It's hard by yourself.
Want to learn how to train like your favorite NBA basketball player? Today's guest interviewee can help with that. On this installment of Sports BTS, professional basketball trainer Jordan Lawley joins us from sunny Southern California to share everything there is to know about teaching the game of basketball, developing a brand, and creating an infectious community surrounding the game we all love. After the show, tune in to our Instagram at Takeover KU to check out an extra trivia segment I did with J-Law.
So one thing that we strive on is kind of like our mantra is passion fuels growth, and consistent growth equates to success. This one, what we want people to leave with when they leave the gym, it's not just about the skill or the IQ that they're gonna receive once they get in with us and leave, but rather they're just be able to hold on to a piece of that passion, and hopefully that ignites something within themselves, whether it be on the court or off the court, to just go and attack, approach their day, accordingly. We definitely try to build a culture, and it's something that when you step foot in our gym, which I'm sure you can attest to, like the culture that we create, one that's uplifting, it's one that's encouraging, it's one that's challenging. It provides an opportunity and to fail. And I think that's where we try to differentiate ourselves, from a lot of other people or programs is, when you get into the gym, you're in a position, you're in a spot where, you're accepted, whether you suck, whether you're great, you're accepted the same.
Let's go, bring it in. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I think my favorite, kind of client or favorite types of clients are ones from different walks of life than me, which we've been blessed with because we get clients from all over the world, not just the States or not just the NBA. And, you have to learn how to teach somebody who maybe has a language barrier, and you have to learn how to get through to somebody who's a little bit more introverted than me. And that part is my favorite part, learning what makes them tick, learning how to connect, and then learning more about them and their upbringing. That's one thing that I've noticed whenever I travel. There's a lot of players out there who may not get that experience, very often, if not ever, to work with, an amazing trainer or amazing player or see an amazing player in game. So when they get that experience, they hang on to it. They hang on to every word. And like, that's something that like fuels me. I love that. I love being able to, just help people connect a little bit more, with their passion, and to be a vehicle to, help them grow. Most rewarding part of what I get to do, probably like little things like this. Like, we got Parker in the back right now, and he's coming to work with me. And it's like, it's such an accepting and open environment that we have, where I get the opportunity to be able to do this, like bring him to the gym and have like amazing people there. It's just an opportunity for so many different people to be in the gym. Everybody's accepted, and we all have a common bond, which is through basketball.
The Great American Race returned on Sunday in beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida, and a sold-out crowd of over 100,000 race fans gathered for the Super Bowl of stock car racing. This year's Daytona 500 marked the start of a new era for NASCAR, as the newest model of car, dubbed the Next Gen car, made its debut in a points-playing race. New car or not, the madness NASCAR fans come to associate with the 2.5-mile tri-oval ensued. The race saw 35 lead changes, and unfamiliar names saw themselves at the front of the pack, such as Eric Jones and rookies Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric. Drivers and crews were getting used to the new single lug nut wheel at pit stops compared to the previous 5-nut stops, and we saw 2 drivers completely lose a tire off of their car. Talk about things you don't like to hear when driving north of 190 miles an hour. With 3 laps to go in stage 1, the race saw its biggest crash. Coming out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway, Brad Keselowski latched onto the bumper of Harrison Burton on the top lane and turned him sideways on the exit. Burton then made contact with William Byron and Kyle Busch on the bottom lane and began to slide before catching air and flipping over as remaining cars scattered. It was a scary moment, considering the last time a car flipped over at Daytona, it was in 2020, in a crash that sent Ryan Newman to the hospital and sent a chill down the spines of fans. Thankfully, Burton walked away from the crash and was released from the infield care center with no injuries. Veteran and reigning Cup Series runner-up Martin Truex Jr. won the first 2 stages, but Joe Gibbs did not have its typical stellar performance at the 500. Denny Hamlin, the winner of the 2019 and 2020 Daytona 500s, was eliminated from the race with suspension damage as a result of that first stage crash. Kyle Busch suffered right front damage in the same crash and fought his way to a 6th-place finish with a duct tape splitter. Instead, it was the Ford machines that proved to rule the field. 7 of the top 10 finishers were Fords, including race winner Austin Cindric. Cindric stole the show with an overall amazing race. He ran a clean race throughout, avoided all possible damage, and did the best thing you can do in the 500, be running on the final lap. The remaining 27 cars pushed along as Sung felt the darkness and the lights flashed with 2 laps to go in overtime. After a crash with 6 to go that saw race leader Ricky Stenhouse Jr. sent to the garage with terminal damage, Austin Cindric lined up on the outside for the restart. After an amazing jump start, he moved to the bottom lane in front of Team Penske teammate Ryan Blaney. The pack stayed close as they took the white flag, 1 to go. Bubba Wallace, 2 back from Cindric in the number 23, gave his best friend Ryan Blaney an incredible push off turn 4 in the dash for the checkered flag. Blaney went for the win on a move to the high side, and Cindric threw the block of his life, pushing Blaney into the wall and holding the lead. While Cindric threw a block on the high side, Bubba Wallace charged on the bottom. The 2 made contact right before the finish, and Austin Cindric edged out Wallace by 0.3 of a second to win the race. Cindric tallied his first NASCAR Cup Series win in only his 8th career start. The 2020 Xfinity Series champion and 2021 runner-up is in a great position to make some noise in his rookie year. He brought team owner Roger Penske his first Daytona win since 2015 in Joey Logano. Let's listen in what Austin had to say about his milestone victory.
Austin Cindric has wanted to be a race car driver his entire life. He's raced everything. You made it to the top level, a rookie in the Cup Series. Austin, you are a Daytona 500 champion.
Oh my God, you know what makes it all better? A packed house! A packed house at the Daytona 500! Oh my God, I've got so many people to thank. First and foremost, Roger Penske. Happy birthday! Oh my gosh. I appreciate Ryan being a great teammate. Obviously, he wants to win this one, but I'm so pumped for Discount Tire, Menards, Ford. Everybody works so hard with this next-gen car through this whole process, and damn, I am so excited. This makes up for losing a championship the last race I did.
The Cup Series now heads across the country to my home race at Auto Club Speedway in Southern California, Now, to live with the close.
That's all we have for today's episode. Be sure to stay up to date on our Instagram at TakeoverKU. And remember, it's not about the games you played, but the plays you made. Stay warm and rock chalk, Jayhawks.